We don't want the woke crap. Disney pulls this woke crap, and normal American parents no longer want to take their kids to Disney. These companies need to be punished, and you know, I'm all for it. We're going to ban ESG scores. We're going to ban wokeness in the Fortune 500. I think the American people are sick and tired of left-wing corporations telling them how to think.
Well, that was Arizona Senate candidate Blake Masters with me on Sunday Morning Futures on Disney shares dropping, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is officially signing of a bill revoking Disney's special tax status. Joining me right now is Florida Senator Rick Scott. He's a member of the Homeland Security and Armed Forces Committees. Senator, it's great to have you this morning. Welcome back to the show. Give us your take on what Ron DeSantis is doing. A lot of blowback for that law taking away some of that good policy for Disney.
You know, first off, the law is common sense. Our kindergartners shouldn't be taught about sex in school. So why Disney wants to go engage in some social issue, it doesn't make any sense to me. And a company that is relying on a special tax status doesn't make any sense. But it's the same, you know, I don't understand why Disney would be doing what it's doing. I'm a business guy. You would not, you know, go engage in social issues like this if you want to keep all your customers. But I'd say the same thing about Coke and Delta when they lied about the election security laws in Georgia. I mean, I just don't get these companies, what they're doing. Go do your job. Take care of your customers. Treat your employees with respect. Figure out how to be a better company. Don't engage in all these social fights.
Yeah, I think this is a great point, and we're looking at Disney's stock this morning, Senator. It's down another 1% after losing $50 billion in market value in the month of March. This stock is falling out of bed as a result, partly of the environment that we're in. You know, the theme parks getting impacted because of a slowing economy. Disney losing $22 billion just last week alone. What can you tell us about the backdrop in terms of the economy right now? Are we seeing fewer people go to these theme parks? Are we seeing people cut off their streaming services? Of course, that's what we heard from Netflix last week on its earnings report.
Well, I haven't seen any numbers yet. I mean, I got rid of my Disney Plus. I'm not planning on going back to the park. But these companies, it doesn't make any sense. They'll sit here and they'll criticize us in America, but then they'll go to China and they'll allow. It's okay that China puts 1 million people in prison for their religion, takes away the basic rights of Hong Kong citizens, and they'll be glad. Delta will be glad to fly in there and say they're great. You know, promote China. Disney will go out and do business in China, say nothing over there. But then they want to criticize us for doing logical things. Children should not be taught about sex in school. It's pretty basic. I think everybody should agree on that.
Well, sex in school or sex when you're in kindergarten? I mean, I think the issue that we're talking about is kindergarten to the 3rd grade, right?
Absolutely. These little kindergartens, I've got grandkids. They shouldn't be, our teachers in school shouldn't be teaching them about sex. That doesn't make any sense. It's a parent's responsibility. The parents, it's a parent's kids. It's not Disney's kids. It's not the school's kids.
Senator, I want to get your take on the corruption that we are spotlighting day in and day out. I've spoken with the former Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe. He joined me yesterday in Sunday Morning Futures. And we talked about Special Counsel John Durham's probe, which seems to have the Clinton camp on the run. Take a listen to what he said. Got to get your take.
An entire law firm like Perkins Coie could be subject to indictment. It's why I've said from the beginning, Maria, based on the intelligence that I had seen, discussed, and shared with John Durham, I expected there to be many more indictments, and that continues to be the case.
Well, that was pretty stunning, I thought, Senator. He's talking about the entire firm of Perkins Coie being vulnerable. What's your take on where we are in this whole Russia collusion lie that's finally producing some accountability? Michael Sussman's trial begins next month, May 16th.
You know, the American public needs truth and transparency. So what John Durham is doing the right thing. We all ought to understand these things. I'm on the Homeland Security Committee. We actually ought to do some investigations of things up there. We ought to investigate Hunter Biden, what he's doing in Russia and China and places like that. We ought to investigate what the Clinton campaign was doing with this Russia collusion. Let's get the facts out there. We don't know what the truth is because it's been hidden by everybody. So I think what John Durham is doing the right thing. We need to go find everything out and let the American public make a decision. And if you did something wrong, you violated the law, you got to be held accountable.
So is that what you're going to do? Should you get the majority in November? I mean, look, let's take a look at some of the policies of this administration. You're an elected official. What are you going to do about it? Texas authorities have released the name of the National Guard soldier who went missing on Friday. 22-year-old Bishop Evans had been trying to rescue 2 migrants in the Rio Grande who appeared to be drowning. Then sources told me they believe those migrants were smuggling illicit narcotics. President Biden is still standing by his plan to end Title 42. We've heard from umpteen people about things that are about to get much worse. Is this an impeachable offense in your view?
I think we ought to look at it. I mean, here's the bottom line. I don't get what the Biden administration is doing. Why would you want to have an open border? Why would you want to have 105,000 Americans die of drug overdoses? A lot of them from fentanyl made in China, brought in by the cartels. Why would you want a crime come across the border? Why would you want a National Guard member dying, trying to save people that are trying to do harm to American citizens? The Biden administration needs to give us the facts. But I tell you, Secretary Mayorkas comes and talks to us, and he basically smug about it. The border's secure. We're doing the right thing. No, you're not doing the right thing. The border's not secure. Americans are dying because of Secretary Mayorkas and President Biden's actions. This has to stop.
So what kind of investigations are you planning should you get the majority in November?
Well, I want to make sure. Let's find out exactly what happened with Hunter Biden. What was involvement of President Biden and Vice President Biden in Hunter Biden's dealings? We ought to understand that. We ought to understand what are we doing along the border. When Ron Johnson was the chair of Homeland Security my first 2 years, we had hearings on exactly what was going on the border. And by the way, we had a Republican president at the same time. He wanted to make sure the right things were happening. The Democrats right now, all they want to do is defend Joe Biden's ineptitude, incompetence.
All right, we will leave it there. We'll be watching the next, 197 days before the midterm, Senator. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Rick Scott in Florida.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. We'll be right back. The next hour of Mornings with Maria continues after this.